Hi, this is Monica from Run, Eat, Repeat, and today's good listen is The Husband's Secret by Liane Moriarty. Spoiler alert, there will be spoilers because I need to know what you think about The Husband's Secret. What would you do with this information? It was just killing me as I was listening to the book, and since I don't have any friends, you're my virtual book club, please chime in. You've been warned. And in case you're not familiar, here is a little synopsis of the book. This is from Amazon. At the heart of The Husband's Secret is a letter that's not meant to be read. My darling Cecilia, if you're reading this, then I've died. ... Imagine your husband wrote you a letter to be opened after his death. Imagine too that the letter contains his deepest, darkest secret, something with the potential to destroy not only the life you built together, but the lives of others as well. And then imagine that you stumble across that letter while your husband is still very much alive. Cecilia Fitzpatrick has achieved it all. She's an incredibly successful businesswoman, pillar of her small community, and a devoted wife and mother, but that letter is about to change everything. Dun dun dun. And not just for her, there are other women who barely know Cecilia or each other, but they too are about to feel the earth-shattering repercussions of her husband's secret. Boom. Okay. That's all very dramatic. Some feedback, since again, this is a good listen. I listen to this book mostly while I'm running, walking the dog, eating, living my life, etc. There are a lot of characters in the book, and I think because most of the time when we're listening to audiobooks or podcasts, we are multitasking. So it was a little hard to follow at first before I was really invested in these characters. And I have listened to Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty and What Alice Forgot. I don't know how I heard about Big Little Lies, but it's amazing. Highly recommend. After that, I kind of wanted all of the good books by her, and I think I downloaded both What Alice Forgot and this one, and it just was, they were harder to get into. Basically, I think I've started this book a couple of times and just really was like, before you get a new book, you have to just give this one a chance, at least. So I think it is a slow start in a lot of characters, which again are hard to follow if you are listening to the book while multitasking. And you really don't find out the good stuff, the husband's secret, until well into the book. I think it is like around chapter 20. So it took a while to find out the husband's secret. And then from there, I thought, oh, this is good. And again, like I was super hyped up because I was thinking, what the heck? It's kind of annoying. So the husband's secret. She finds this letter he writes to her when she's in the hospital. She just gave birth to their first baby. And I guess he comes home to do something. He writes this letter confessing that when he was 17, I believe, or around then, he killed what he thought was his girlfriend. And this girl was kind of seeing two different guys and decided to choose one and didn't choose him. And he kind of snapped, and this is what he says anyways, that he snapped and he put his arms around her neck, and the next thing you know, she is dead. And he is confessing this so that his wife can tell the girl's mom. Because no one's ever been caught. She doesn't know what happened. She's living with that, right? And he feels really guilty. First of all, to put that on your wife and to just like, where's your brain? Anyways, why don't you write a letter to the mom to be sent to her upon your death? So that, hey, I don't want to be the middleman for that. I wouldn't want someone to hand me that burden of information. So that wasn't cool because now he's already done this crappy thing. And then he's like, hey, get involved. And now that you have a baby with me, like if I was his wife, I would think, I don't want to live with a murderer. I think you should, like, pay for this crime, be held accountable. But also, like, I just had a baby. I don't want you to go to jail right now. We ain't got no money. So, all of those things, super not cool. By the way, if you're in this situation, don't write that letter, or just write it directly to the person that you want this information to go to. Don't give this middle person bad news to deliver. So there's that. At the point where she finds it, it's years later. They have, I think, 3 little girls at that point. They're all older. Like, he wrote this letter, let's say 10 years ago. And they talk about it. She found it by accident, by the way. He told her not to read it, and she did. Further reason, like, to just don't go looking for trouble, because trouble finds you. You don't need to look for it, or look for suspicious letters. So there's that. The other people in the story I found very interesting. The backstory, so she goes back and forth, kind of the author, in terms of everyone's story currently and also in the past when this girl was killed, and kind of like her and the husband's relationship. And once I found the husband's secret, I found out, I felt like it was a more interesting book, but leading up to that, I was just like, meh about it. And then it got good. I think it took way too long to get good. And I think there were just a lot of people's stories to follow, which is hard to do, like I said. But overall, I did find it, I think it's a good book. I do recommend. In terms of listening to it, I loved the narrator. She has the cutest Australian accent. I'm obsessed with it. I have changed my ways, not my ways in life, but my Ways app, looking for an Australian accent girl. I think I just found a UK one, but I think it's adorable. So it makes it very pleasant because someone is talking to you and like the cutest accent and the way she says certain words and how she does what the kids are saying. There's something about it that I just love and find very pleasant. I don't need a very pumped up, crazy, intense book to listen to while I am running. So I'm okay walking or running, listening to a book. Not everyone is. If you normally need to listen to like WAP or similar beats to be motivated, this probably isn't the best book to listen to while you run. But I think driving, eating, walking, etc., it is a good book. Just heads up, it takes a while to get to the level of what I thought when someone calls a page turner. I did not think this was a page turner. I listened to a podcast about the book, this like Two Girls Book Club, and I think at least one of them, if not both, described it as a page turner. No, not until chapter 20, and I don't know if that really counts. But once it did turn good, I was in. I wanted to finish it. And at that point, it was an ear turner, or whatever you would call the page turning equivalent of an audiobook. So another interesting thing is the epilogue. At the end, she throws in all of these hypothetical situations about, well, if the mom would have been this much earlier to pick up the daughter, she would have gotten her to the doctor's appointment. That's why she was picking her up. And they would have found out that she has this rare condition that actually the guy, she died not necessarily because he strangled her, but it's like there was some medical condition that she has that it didn't take much, basically, to make her die. Like it wouldn't have killed someone else, hypothetically. Or hypothetically, if this would have happened, if like Cecilia would have went to the party, or maybe not her, but another character wouldn't have went on this trip and went to the party. An hour later, she wouldn't have met her husband. Like, it's a very interesting kind of epilogue, very unique. Even so much as the coroner who does the autopsy for the girl who died, like, he had a cold that day, and her family said, we don't want a super intensive autopsy. If he wouldn't have had a cold, or they wouldn't have insisted on that, they would have realized that she had that condition and it wasn't necessarily from strangulation that she died. Like, what? So the husband's secret, he didn't even realize, but he didn't really kill her. Like, it just was odd. It was wild. I liked it. Like, as I was listening, I'm like, oh, this is super frustrating, because this could be a whole other book. This could be like so much more of the book, or like a choose your own adventure, where if you want the mom to pick her up on time, like, jump to chapter this. And I thought that would be fun. Why don't they make adult books like that, so that you can kind of choose, like, do these people meet at this party, or do these other people meet, or does someone never make it to the party? Like, we should have books like this, or movies like this, where you could just fast forward to a certain timestamp, just like you want to fast forward this video, boom. So overall, I recommend more Big Little Lies and the HBO series about it. Love it, love it, love it. Let me know what you would do with the information if you found this out about your partner, because it's not cool. And if you have that kind of information, keep it to yourself. Zip it. If you have listened or read a book recently that you highly recommend, please pass it along, because, yeah, I need another good listen for next time. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you can keep up.